SGC here, and we are back for the final Phase 1 movie. The Avengers. The Avengers.
Do it again. We need more energy.
SGC here, and we are back to talk about the last movie of this phase. The Avengers. Dun dun dun! Directed by Joss Whedon and worked on by these people. So, Avengers. The accumulation of all the 5 films, starting with Iron Man 1, when Nick Fury shows up and he wants to talk about the Avengers Initiative. And now we got it. So, written by Zak Penn and Joss Whedon. Zak Penn, the dude that wrote Incredible Hulk, for some reason got hired on. I don't know why. I don't.
You just don't.
I don't.
2012, right? This movie came out
2012, 1 year after the first Avenger.
First week it came out, I went to watch it. It was in the packed theater, and I remember the first hour of when it was just setting up everything. It was kind of boring. And then it builds up to this climatic action sequence, and then I'm like, oh, okay, so this is what the Avengers is. And it saved New York. And then when it saved New York, it saved the entire world.
Because, you know, the
Because
entire
everything
world
just
is New
centered
York.
in New York.
Yeah.
Yep.
For me, I think it was like, wow, cool. But I agree, the first half was boring.
The villains in this film wasn't really established.
Right.
In the first 5 MCU movies.
Yeah.
So it kind of needs some time for us to understand all, like.
Well, I mean, like, it's
who these
Loki,
guys
but
are.
it's like, what is happening?
Yeah, this army of just lizards.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
where
the
do they come
Chitauri
from?
wasn't even established, really.
Yeah, where do they come
When
from?
you think about what happened in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, for my rewatch, I really enjoyed everything.
Enjoyed?
Yeah, like the first half where they try to get everyone back.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have, what's his face playing Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo. And it was so natural. Like there was no like, why is he not Edward Norton? It was just like, you know, you just accept it. And I think it helped being set up where he was located. So it's had the same vibe where he's been helping people, sort of ignorantly say it's like South America type of vibe. Then you got Captain, who's just like trying to know the world, and then you get Hawkeye, who finally is introduced because he was introduced in Thor as a cameo.
He wasn't introduced. He appeared briefly in Thor.
Yes, he appeared. Yes, so now we finally see who this person is.
He turned the dark side.
And then we got Black Widow, and then we got Nick Fury. We have the actual SHIELD organization. I really enjoyed that because it's like building up from what they established.
Like they have a mothership now.
Yeah, in Thor, and it's like they have an organization. It's not just Coulson.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the helicarrier, and I think rewatching it, the biggest thing for me was Coulson's death. I didn't like how he just died, and then they're
Spoiler
like,
again.
And then they're just like, oh, this person died, so let's all do our job and avenge the world. But then when I look back now, like all the movies that's been set up, like he was there in Iron Man. He was that random dude who's from Homeland Security or whatever, and then Iron Man 2, he popped up again, and then in Thor, he was introduced as an organization, and then so those like all these like piecemeal of like his interaction with all these solo people,
Yeah.
so that if he died, it actually would mean something. I would just say how he died was very anticlimactic, and it's just really random and just boring in a sense, because it's just like.
The way they put it, I mean, the way they shot it was kind of
it was like
underwhelming compared to everything that's going on.
Yeah, because it was like the ship's going down, and he's like, I got this gun, I'm gonna kill you. And I was like, what?
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, like, Fury's playing, like, the tugging your heartstrings, here's his cards with blood on it. Overall, I would say, like, it really uses what was established in all the solo films, like, all the characters, now they're thrown here, they're not new, I mean, we have Black Widow, who was introduced in Iron Man 2, but we sort of finally see what she's doing.
She has a more prominent role.
Yeah, so she's actually a spy versus
given
like a secretary.
The entire opening sequence, which is her, being in the situation.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of interesting how they jump location to location just to like update you what's happening. We have Iron Man and Pepper Potts, who's like clean energy, whatever and like Hulk, and then Black Widow, and then Cap, and then Thor just shows up later on. I mean, granted, the whole storyline with Loki being caught on purpose is still kind of dumb when I watch it now.
Yeah.
Like, granted, I love the scene where he's captured with Black Widow and they have that dialogue exchange. It's a really like it tugs to like Black Widow's like core character.
Loki thinks like, oh, I have you now, eventually, but then
he's like, nope, I'm on top of this.
Yeah.
And I like that scene, but like I don't know, just the planning to get the Hulk out was just kind of like, I don't know. I think when you have like such a huge scale type of conflict, it's hard to make it believable and authentic. I think you brought it up how the ending is very climatic, and then the ending is anticlimactic. But rewatching it again just now, like you need that type of thing.
Yeah.
But it's still like when the threat is so big, it
numbed. Like we become so numbed
yeah.
because we know it's like impossible to happen in any way.
Yeah. So I feel like if you make it more down to earth type of vibe, like Winter Soldier was very great in terms of its twist and
because it's an
internal
conflict.
It's because it's like, holy crap, this could happen. Not with S.H.I.E.L.D., but like imagine the CIA pull this off. Like that would be pretty. That would be messed up.
Yeah, again.
But here it's like aliens coming down and you're like whatever.
It's even more crazier than Thor because Thor is like very mythical already. Mm-hmm. But then in this movie it's like okay, we're blending in the reality of Captain America, Iron Man, but with like Loki. And then with those lizard army, and then with Beam, opening a portal.
Yeah, like if they had to fight like a huge ass villain, maybe that would have been better.
But the shot, maybe everything was just to set up the shot where Hulk just punches this dragon.
Yeah, that's true.
Space dragon.
Space fish.
That's like a dragonfish.
Yeah, I don't know. But because it like Ragnarok, I feel like that cosmic or Guardians, if they pull this off, I wouldn't have mind.
Because it makes sense in that world.
Yeah, but here it's like Earth, and then this beam, which pisses me off because like after this movie, literally a lot of films start doing this like beam in the sky. Like this is the threat. We can't have any other threats but beam in the sky. Like Ninja Turtles did it.
But for argument's sake, Iron Man kind of did it as well with Obadiah's character dying. Cause
and then they cut that trailer really poorly. Just to make you look like it was crazy, because he's like, there's this one shot where he's like, and then boom, and then it cuts that beam, and you're like, oh my goodness, doesn't happen.
Yep. And the way they brought Thor back is also very interesting, because at the end of Thor, like they broke the bridge was broken.
Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah, like they cannot go into different realms anymore because of the technology.
Yeah. So
yeah, like how they brought Thor back, it's also like, oh, how did you do that? And they did it in a very convincing way. I wouldn't say it's too cheesy.
So my memorable scene, I'm going to cheat and say it's a generic one, because it's like, not the tracking shot of them in the circle, but just the fact that there was that shot where it, like, long shot, it's like all these action set pieces, and then they shoot it so it's one continuous take. So it's like them working together here.
Oh, you saw Hawkeye just shooting and talking at the same time.
Like Iron Man and then Thor and Hulk. Like I love how they're like interacting in the same space in an action sequence. Yeah. But granted, like watching Iron Man 2 again, I realized they did that in that movie, but it was too dark and you don't remember what actually happened. But here it's like super well lit. You can see what's actually happening. The colors are great, and it's just seeing all these superheroes doing action set pieces together, and I really loved it. Overall, I remember seeing that one, and so how about, I don't know, casting. This is kind of hard to talk about in terms of casting, because we got everybody. Everyone's been established. There's no new player. I guess Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson, he actually has a lot more to do comparative to Iron Man 2. We have a new member of S.H.I.E.L.D., Cobie Smulders, playing Mariah Hill. She hardly does anything, which is too sad, because she was great in How I Met Your Mother. Well, she does come back in Age of Ultron, so there's that. Let's
Yeah.
Peter Skarsgård back as a mind control freak. Nothing
Just
much.
glad how again
It worked.
how well each character set up
Yeah.
in the movies that were prior.
Yeah,
to,
like Whedon knew how to
Avengers.
use them. Like I think it's all down to the writing in terms of how these actors were used, like the lines, like the quips worked here. It's like it's always Downey who's doing the quips, and it's just like it's part of his character that's been established for the last 5 films or what have you. And I liked how it's also connected to, you know, Cap knowing his father, and then that nice exchange.
Yeah.
Like so that's kind of neat just to have that tie in.
Everything in this film is great. Only the story is just kind of weak because we know, like, okay, this is this larger than life kind of conflict that we have.
Yeah.
Whereas in other films, like in Thor, Captain America, even Iron Man, they're just about their internal conflict, and we do see the changes. But in this one, we see, like, if this doesn't happen, Doomsday device is gonna be activated.
Which makes me really curious how they're gonna pull off Infinity War. At least it's not against an army. We're against
it's about
an individual.
Like, an individual with like the infinite power.
Yeah. So how are we gonna defeat that?
Yeah.
And I think at least fight sequences will look cool. But here it's just like a portal. Like, what are you supposed to do? Shut it down. There's no real villain here. Loki's not even the real villain. Because he's
the indicator.
Yeah,
basically.
he brought the army in, the world, connected that. So, yeah, I mean, granted, I do like how in Iron Man 3 they bring up the PTSD that Stark goes through when he goes and delivers.
And all like the aftermath of Avengers, the sequences of like how New York became this ruin. And then, you know, the public was saying that, are we giving the superhero too much power to protect
so that
us?
leads to like Civil War.
Yeah. So what we appreciate is what this movie brought to set up for Phase 2, not the movie itself.
Same year, so this came out in May. In July. In July, we also have
2 superhero movies.
Yep. So one by the name of Amazing Spider-Man, and
By Mark Webb.
yeah, and also Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, like I said, I think I mentioned in the first movie in Iron Man, like the beginning of MCU, it's like the beginning of an end.
For everything else.
For every other superhero movie.
I think like this review is pretty much done. Avengers, good trailer shots. It's a good payoff for what they set up for the first 5 films of this universe, and it doesn't necessarily set up too much for the next phase. Granted, they set up things that are used, but as a movie itself, it doesn't go like, hey, this is what we're going to do.
They used things that happened in this movie as like a device that, to set up new movies.
Yeah.
It's a very entertaining movie.
Yeah.
Again, watching it again. Yeah.
I don't think it's... But I don't agree that it's, like, as good as people think it is, though.
It broke box office record.
That doesn't mean anything.
It earned a lot of money.
Avatar earned a lot of money.
There was a reason why, because it was in 3D, and it was like when 3D first came out, people wanted to watch it for
what
the
does it say about
immersive experience.
But anyway, yeah, I don't know. People like Avengers because it's just like that. I think it's sort of the same tier as Iron Man, where it's like, wow, they did it. It's nostalgic. I don't know particularly if I wanted Loki as the main villain again, because I felt like I saw him in Thor, and now he's like just front and center. But we know that there's
even though
another
he's
person.
Cunning, he's too predictable now.
Yeah, so it's just
like we know he's gonna screw anything up.
So I sort of wish that there was an established villain, rather than Thanos turning his head at the end of the film. Like just that. Like I sort of wish there was like someone who they had to fight.
Since we're concluding this first phase of MCU, we should kind of mention who is our favorite Avenger.
Well, this is mine actually, even though he's been holding it the whole time.
Okay, so that's your favorite?
Yeah,
Captain?
Heart of Gold. You know, trying so hard to just not appease, but just like doing the right thing, equality type of thing.
Yeah, I would say Iron Man would be my favorite
Yeah.
because he's a recovery alcoholic.
Oh, are you a recovering alcoholic?
No.
Do you connect on that level?
No, like, but the person with addiction and then to turn things around with, just with daddy issues and so many issues. Yet
Okay.
he's a flawed hero,
That's true.
and he accepts that. He doesn't want to cover it. He knows he is the asshole sometimes.
That's true. Captain
That's-
America is just pure.
He's a Boy Scout.
Yeah.
That's where
He is the
is.
best that you want to be,
Yeah.
but you won't be ever.
Right.
Yeah, so there's that. We are 6 of 18 now.
Oh gosh.
12 more movies!
Going in.
Yeah, for the record, we are actually rewatching all this.
Yeah.
So maybe not Black Panther, because I don't think it's out on DVD.
Well, it's
Yeah.
on HD. We could rent it on iTunes.
Yes, we can do that. Oh, it is. So I guess we can rewatch it. So there's that. We will be rewatching all 18 films. Anyways, that is the Avengers. That is Phase 1. Another tidbit. Feige apparently says Marvel might be getting rid of the Phase stuff after Phase 3 is over with
Yeah, because
Avengers
right now I think
4.
Doctor Strange was already not very belong to the phrase.
I guess
kind
so.
of.
Like, they're not really
And also-
building towards something, because it sets up expectations,
Yeah, and
too.
Captain Marvel, which is gonna be
It's a
Up
90s
later
film.
this year. Is it later this year?
No,
They're gonna...
this year is Ant-Man and the Wasp
Yeah.
in July.
Yeah.
And then Captain Marvel next year, and then Spider-Man sequel next year
Mhm.
with Avengers.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Lots of more interesting movies to talk about.
Yeah, so there's that. I hope you enjoyed Phase 1 and just this retrospective of it. So we are done with Phase 1 and onwards with Phase 2, starting with Iron Man 3. See you then. Later.